So for those who have just joined us here at Jubilee Park, welcome to Eastland EFNL Grand Final Day in the Division 3. Up first was Blackburn and Warrandyte are the 2022 Under-19 Eastland Premiers. But we've still got two games to come. Warrandyte are playing again up against the Waverley Blues. It gets started in about 15 minutes' time in the reserves. And then the seniors, Waverley Blues and Donvale, to get underway at 2:15. Plenty of action still to come here. And what a great day it is for football. The pre-game ceremony will come very shortly. But stick around, plenty of action still to come. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would please make your way off the field as we get ready to go for the reserves grand final between the Waverley Blues and Warrandyte. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
The famous Waverley Blues. We are Warrandyte, we are the good old red and white. We don't care who it is we meet, because there is no team that we can't beat. We play together, we stick together in any weather. We give it all we've got for victory. We are the good old red and white.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Jubilee Park for today's Eastland Division 3 Reserves EFNL Grand Final between Warrandyte and the Waverley Blues. We begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather today and pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here today. Would you now please be upstanding and join with the players, coaches and the umpires for the Australian National Anthem.
Here at Jubilee Park for the Division 3 Reserves Grand Final. This is Will Faulkner coming to you live. Looking forward to an absolute belting game between Waverley Blues and Warrandyte. We've just had Warrandyte play their under-19s Grand Final here just a couple of hours ago.
Team sheet right there in front of you. Yep.
Got the win by 6 or 7 goals. It was a very impressive performance, particularly in the third quarter. And we're just a few minutes away. We've just had the national anthem, which is always gives some hairs raising on the back of your neck. Conditions overcast at the moment here, but no sign of rain in the extremely near future. Teams are now going straight from the national anthem into their positions, so a pretty quick turnaround.
Just as quick as before, Will.
Yeah. How you going, Jono?
Going very well, and for those who have just joined us, obviously welcome, and I'm doubling up for the moment. Hopefully, it's sort of like a medical type scenario, but he's on his way, and here he is, the man, Trent Cullen, who will I'll sub in for, but we're almost about to get underway here for Game 2 at Jubilee Park. The reserves before the seniors. It's Warrandyte doubling up again. Over to you guys.
Cheers, Jono. Just seconds away here from the Resi's Division 3 Grand Final starting between Warrandyte and Waverley Blues. Warrandyte kicking to the right of screen, Waverley Blues to the left, as I'm joined by Trent Cullen.
Good afternoon, or good morning, Will. Jeez. Still catching my breath.
Did you play in the 19s Grand Final just before?
Sounds like it.
Now looking forward to a great game here, Trent. Waverley Blues against Warrandyte. Warrandyte probably had the upper hand throughout the season. 16-1 they were. All is set for an extremely big game. The last of their 2022 season. Very much in readiness. I think everyone's just waiting for the siren here. I think they're just letting you catch your breath, Trent.
I thank them for that.
Here we are. Jubilee Park, Division 3 Reserves Grand Final between Warrandyte and Waverley Blues. The ball is up in the air. Two ruckmen go at it. Pretty even tap. Warrandyte on the defence early, with Waverley Blues getting their hands to the ball first. Nice little contest out there on the far wing. Waverley Blues get away a couple of handballs as the free kick's given. Way of Waverley Blues. Advantage was given, but to no real advantage in the end. Intercept mark by Warrandyte as they go back down the line on the far side. Shepherding by the looks of it, free kick given away there. So we get the ball. Waverley Blues go inside forward 50. Looking for a target. Ball's dropped to ground. In amongst it was Ethan Daffy. Waverley Blues. Didn't quite get a clear kick away. So Warrandyte try and scrap it out of their defensive 50. And a kick to the outside of the wing. Nice little contest. 1v1. So that ball goes out of bounds. That was Jack Wilson and Harrison Cook matching up on each other respectively. First minute of the grand final, Trent. How are we feeling?
So we've played a minute here. The Division 3 grand final. The reserves. True centre wing it sits. The rucks contest. Ball just lands in space and running onto it. It's Warrandyte through Wilson. They head inside 50 for the first time. And they have the numbers, do the Waverley Blues, and they can link this up, although a good smother's applied. The pressure, the ball lands with Hitchman from a standing start. There's your first goal of the grand final.
Who else?
Gareth Hitchman, take a bow.
The leading goal kicker this year, Trent, in the Division 3 reserves. And I think it's only fitting that he kicks that first goal. Very, very good from a relatively tight angle. Deep pockets here at Jubilee Park, but he's done well to get that through.
He's got 53 goals to his name. Make that 54. And probably one of his better ones, it has to be said.
Yeah, absolutely. That's pretty hard to beat. There's Lloyd Butcher there from Waverley Blues. He got a couple of touches and tried to get it out of defensive 50, but Warrandyte were quite well set up around the arc. Ball goes up again, 2 minutes into this grand final. Nice little hit out there by Waverley Blues. Warrandyte bursting off the defensive 50, and they'll try and scrap their way through the middle here. Ball picked up by James Hansen. Goes kick inside forward 50. Warrandyte again relatively well set up one-on-one. Bashing bump from Rowan Welsh. Ball gets given off by Samuel Johnson. And on the line there, Warrandyte defender, and he easily takes it uncontested in the defensive goal square. Great little kick, tries to find Luke Brewis. Unfortunately, it ends up in the hands of Warrandyte. Handball given off by James Hansen. Going inside 450 was Joe Facey. Warrandyte defenders fly for the intercept mark, unsuccessfully. Mitchell Wilson tries to get the tackle, the stick doesn't, and I think we'll have a ball up here. No, ball scraps around. Nice little tackle there applied from Waverley Blues. Max Dorr there. We have a ball up right on the arc here, Trent.
So both sides finding it hard for clean possession. As Warrandyte, just as I say that, they work into clean space. They drive it straight through the corridor. It's fisted out of the reach of one of the Waverley Blues defenders there. Warrandyte will track it at ground levels. Noonan. Now bodies just pile on. The umpire circles and then crosses his chest. So just under a tick under 4 minutes played here. It's Warrandyte one straight. Waverley Blues yet to score despite a number of entries. Warrandyte, although it's turned over now, Waverley Blues can head inside 50. It's just thumped into space. There's a race on leading, that's Corn. Hope I've got the pronunciation right there. Stepping through traffic well. Nice little sidestep banana. Two of the best to start.
You've had a very good start to the call there, Trent. 2 unbelievable goals kicked at both ends. Warrandyte and Waverley Blues respectively.
He's probably matched, if not better.
How's that from the pocket? Nice way to open your account on grand final day.
So she's all square here at Jubilee Park. 1 straight apiece. Just under 5 minutes played here, Will.
Defenders pretty keen to stick to their man one-on-one early, Trent. Not a whole lot of loose ball, as you expect in the grand final. Ruckman go up again. Another clean hit out by Waverley Blues. Warrandyte seem to be sitting well at the back there. They get it forward, surrounding their forward 50 arc. A couple of players try to pick it up. That was Lloyd Butcher hit with the bump. Warrandyte handball the ball forward. Nice tackle applied there by Jack Wilson, and he'll cause a stoppage. About 55 metres out from his team's goal.
So ball up. Just like Will said, 50 odd out. Warrandyte will try and exit. They do well. Short pass is delivered nicely. Finds the outstretched hands of Wilson again. So there's a trio of Wilsons. This one's Jack. Ball in hand, tough angle. He's got crowd strung out in Warrandyte colours along the fence as he strolls in. Tough angle. It'll take his best from there. On target. It'll fall short on the line and then rush through. Nearly gobbled up in the end. First blemish of the morning here.
Gareth Hitchman had a very nice jump at that one. Backed himself there, but was punched over the line in the end by the Waverley Blues. As Waverley Blues get a nice little run before kicking out. Getting it far enough from their defensive 50. Ball picked up there by Benjamin Monks, but he's tackled relatively well. Taken to ground, we'll have a ball up. 65 out. Luke Brewis going up in the ruck here for Warrandyte. Looks like he's got a tough job early. Ball scraps around the near side on the wing. Handball scrappy given out by Cooper Murray. Ball really just laying around this part of the ground here. Mitchell Wilson getting involved. Waverley Boys get the handball out. If I can just get it a little bit further away from their defensive 50. And that was Joe Facey taking the ball over the line, taking the tackle by a couple of the Warrandyte boys. Pretty even result there in the end, Trent.
So we've got a good view of this throw in right in front of us, broadcast side. Slap forward, down the front. Try to pick it up was the ruckman, too far down for him. They try and work it out by hand, although they've coughed it up. And Waverley Blues will clear it through corner, a long way from home. Kicks it to where he'd want to be. And Warrandyte have the numbers, although they've coughed it up once more by hand. A couple of skill errors. It just invites the pressure. So 40 out from home. The Waverley Blues left of screen, they're kicking. Big ruckman rises high. That was Brewis. Slapped it down. Look at the red at this stoppage. Can't do anything about it there, Will.
No. Set up behind the ball here is Luke Sims. Pretty big ball to be matching up on. He looks like he's just trying to stop the kick down the line there from Warrandyte. Nice little attempted mark there. And Sims, as we were just speaking of, gets a nice little chip kick away there. Finds Joe Facey, who's been in and around the ball this first 8 minutes of the grand final, Trent. He'll look to go inside forward 50. And finds the hands of a Waverley Blues forward. Not his intended target, but just sitting at the back of the pack. And that'll be Jake Hubbard having his first shot for goal today. His first set shot. Conditions here shouldn't be a problem. Just be all about how he can execute. Hubbard stutters in. Gets a nice little kick away. Distance seems to be somewhat of an issue, but the goal umpire says, don't worry about that. They get their second, Waverley Blues. And Trent, so it's been a relatively tame start so far. Both teams playing well. Just consistent man-on-man football.
Yeah, crowd's not overly enthused at the moment. But the weather's cleared here. We've had spots of rain and now the sun's come out. That's Melbourne for you.
Absolutely. Just a quick one. Looks like Thomas Mackin from Waverley Blues has the probably the toughest matchup on ground today. He'll be playing on Gareth Titchman, the man we spoke about just a few minutes ago.
So back in the centre of Jubilee Reserve here. It's Waverley Blues with a nice little buffer. They can get the clearance, although the midfielder lost his footing. And it'll just invite Sims to dump a long one. Broadcast side just puts it into the path of his teammate, who does well. And then the long sleeve wearing no number for him. Just did a little slider along the ground. It turned over in the end. Back down the line. Waverley Blues go, but it's all Warrandyte. Picking it up cleanly there was Tetlow. Just dumps a long one. A good intercept marks taken. He had a couple to beat in the air. That was Cook. The switch is on now. Finds Dorr, who can wheel and go. Sits this one to centre half forward, although it's all Warrandyte. Bad kick there, and it's coming back now. Back from whence it came. 1-on-1 contest, they'll fly. Waverley Blues can link up by hand now. That was Gassara to his teammate in Morey. We've seen this before, all Warrandyte at the fall again. Although losing his footing, it's a bit dewy underfoot. Warrandyte, dangerous ball. Turnover, if he can break the tackle. Facey, round the corner, geez.
It's been very good early, Trent.
Almost reward for effort there. He started hot.
Absolutely. A lot of room here at Jubilee Park. We know that. It's a very big ground. Both teams starting to not become afraid to come down the middle, Trent. We saw that a couple of times, counter-attacking each other down the middle. Warrandyte seemed to be a little bit better set behind the ball, had those extra men dropping back. On the contrary, Waverley Blues rebounding quite quickly. Warrandyte get the kick out from that Joe Facey behind. On the far wing, Ben Richardson contests it. He'll take it out of bounds for a throw-in. Just over 11 minutes gone in this first quarter of the Division 3 Reserves Grand Final. Sun really just starting to peek behind, from out behind the clouds here. The ball in. Nice little tap there. Waverley Blues, Luke Sims in the ruck. There's a lot of room here for Warrandyte if they can get going. Booming, sort of really unaimed kick there from Warrandyte, but territory is very important in grand finals. Ball's nearly at their forward 50 now. Scrapping around. And ball spearing tackle there from Waverley Blues. And that ball goes out of bounds. Lots and lots of space, Trent. Everyone just sort of patched up on the far side, but if Waverley Blues can get an exit from this throw-in, there's plenty of room to run.
So the hit out there has been a whistle. It points the way of the Waverley Blues, so they've got the upper hand at the moment here. Kicking to the left of the screen, the big ruckman Sims just dumps a long one down the line. Pack forms, ground level, there's Warrandyte. They storm clear. A floater inside 50 will dribble into the path of Dunn, who traps it well and then palms it off to his teammate who steps his marker. There's Wilson again, can't collect at ground level. They appeal for out on the full and they've got it.
He's been the busiest of the Wilsons today. Jack, that is, Trent. Ball was just too low on the ground for him there. Oh, great smother there on the boundary by Luke Shelton. It's been good early too. Handball tried to be received there by Harrison Cook, didn't do him any favours. Instead, Rowan Welsh handballs out of defensive 50. Warrandyte bomb it straight back in. Right in the hot spot here, 35 metres out from goal. Drop chest mark there by Callum Marini. And a free kick's been paid the way of Waverley Blues, specifically Harrison Cook. And the Blues get another chance to rebound here out of their 50. Take the short chip kick down the line and they bomb it out of their defensive 50.
So down the line they go. Just a big fly there. Sailed over his head. Waverley Blues will try and pick this one up. They hand it off to the ruckman, then Duffy, who can just drive it over the 1-on-1 contest. Warrandyte with a turn of foot can send it back from whence it came. Big pack flies and a big fist. Boundary side it heads. Waverley Blues tried to keep it in, did his best to no avail. So Warrandyte 1-1-7 playing the Waverley Blues 2-1-13.
Ball in here. Another contest between Bruce and Sims. I think we'll be saying that a lot throughout today. Waverley Blues try to get the kick forward, smothered by Warrandyte, and Warrandyte get themselves out the back, kick it forward with no real aim, but almost finds the hands of Ben Richardson, who's been busy up forward. Waverley Blues get their hands on it. They handball off. They were looking to go inside forward 50 with this one kick, just miss out, and instead put it out of bounds on the full. Bit of tic-tac-toe here between the two teams. It's been in and around the arcs of the forward 50 and maybe just inside, but nothing too deep over the last 5 or 6 minutes. Keeping those scores at 1-1-7 to 2-1-13 in favour of Waverley Blues. Chip kick doesn't go well for Warrandyte there, and intercepted by the Waverley Blues. They look to go inside forward 50 here again.
So inside 50 to the hot spot he heads. Big pack flies, and the juggle mark is brought down by the Waverley Blues.
It was Norton, I believe, Trent.
Might be Norton, it is.
Big day for Nortons in the AFL world today. Not just Michael from Waverley Blues, but I believe Aaron playing for the Western Bulldogs tonight in Perth.
So Norton directly in front. That's the task in front of him. For a nice little start for the Blues here. If he can pop this through. Walks in now. Set shot kick is on its way. The goal umpire does not move, Will. Nice little buffer there from the Waverley Blues. They kick clear.
Booming kick, Trent. That was the perfect set shot. That's where you want to take your set shots from. 40 metres out directly in front. Got enough distance to kick through it well, and that's exactly what Norton did. That was textbook. So Waverley Blues get the little buffer here, as you said. Probably slightly unexpected going off results from earlier in the year. But we'll have another ball up. Sims and Brewis, they'll go up again. Sims gets the win this time. Falls into the hands of Warrandyte though. Go inside there, forward 50. That was Gebbett that tried to get the ball out the back. Scrambling ball. Warrandyte player tackled up by Lloyd Butcher, whose defensive pressure so far has been good. So ball up about 35 metres out from Warrandyte's goal.
So there's been a blocking free. It'll go the way of Warrandyte. A chance for a quick reply here.
Slight indiscretion from Sims in the ruck there, I think.
So it'll go the way of Luke Dunn. For Warrandyte's second. Uncomplicated set shot here, 30 out. No angle to speak of. Strolls in, does Dunn. And he's happy with it. He's content.
Content's a good word, Trent. Didn't get too up and about, but just liked his own work, just internally. Boys getting around him, which is good. That's an important goal for Warrandyte. Probably needed that. Been pretty even around the ground, but Waverley Blues have just taken their opportunities a little bit more going inside forward 50.
Yeah, they've had limited entries, haven't they, and made the most of it on the scoreboard there.
Yeah, Warrandyte's leading patterns have been good, particularly from their small forwards, but nice to see one of the bigger boys get a goal. Nice little hit up there from Brewis. He wins this ruck tap. And he said Waverley Blues, they get the ball and they go looking to go inside forward 50, right on the arc, and a great intercept mark taken there by Cullen Hall. He plays on quickly, looking for Jack Wilson. Nice little punch there from Gazara, Waverley Blues. Warrandyte get a nice little 15-metre handball forward. Sprinting efforts there. Wilson again going inside forward 50, looking for big man Gareth. Waverley Blues pick up the scraps off the ground. And a couple of handballs and they get their kick away, but all they can see is Warrandyte. Great diving mark there from Cullen Hall. That's 2 in a minute, Trent. Looks to have some of the better hands in the game. Goes completely laterally. And they'll go inside forward 50 here, looking for a mark. They won't get it. Close, no cigar. Waverley Blues, desperate kick out of defence, gets smothered. Can only find the hands of Dib. And that's a holding the ball against him. Nice little tackle there from Waverley Blues, and here's their chance to reset, Trent.
He had Noonan there as the quarterback role. Opted to go himself, and that's the result. Turnover, Waverley Blues ball. Big fly there. Can't bring it down, although he collected his own crumbs at ground level. Just dumps a long one into space. The race is on, and it's all Waverley Blues. They can pop this one over the top. for Hubbard to run onto. And the ball beats him. An unkind bounce will trickle through for a minor score.
Picked up a little bit the last couple of minutes, Trent. More pressure, and with that, the better skills are coming out. They've been good so far today, but starting to see why these two teams are in the grand final. Really starting to hit their strides. Looks like Pack moves away from the far side. Kick out will go that way. Good mark in the end, taken to Warrandyte. Successful kick in. They'll go long down the line again. Looking for Wilson. He's been really busy. Jack, that is. Has no issue in rolling on. Quickly to Jacksick. The siren beats him. The ball won't run through for a behind. Waverley Blues defender was all over it. That's the end of the first quarter, Trent. 3-2-20 Waverley Blues. They lead Warrandyte 2-1-13. It's been a good high-pressure first quarter, particularly at the back end. What were your initial thoughts?
Yeah, it's almost a bit of a chess match at the moment. Both sides just trying to figure each other out. They've met multiple times throughout the year, but this is a different stage on grand final day, and they're both just sort of testing the waters, and no one's really brave enough to bite off that 45 ball or switch it. But no, we'll see what the second term brings.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of room in this ground to do exactly that, switch the ball. As you said, haven't seen too much of it, but I think the teams will probably find their groove, feel a little bit more comfortable now the first quarter's done, and they can maybe start executing on some team plans they had heading into the match.
Well, sorry to cut you off there. It's probably the nerves have settled, and it's game on from here on out. Yeah, absolutely. Thought Jack Wilson from Warrandyte was really, really good in that first quarter, sort of roaming around the middle and the half-forward flanks for Warrandyte. One of their small forwards that was leading well. Ben Richardson too, probably didn't get as much of the ball as he would have liked, but was again giving midfielders options to kick towards him. Obviously as well up forward for Warrandyte, Gareth Hitchman had a really open start. A nice little shot from the pocket to get the scoreboard rolling, but he's been kept well quiet other than that. Anyone from Waverley Blues that's caught your eye? Well, Norton there, the goal scorer, he's probably one to keep an eye on from a Waverley Blues perspective. Gassara's, we've called his name a couple of times, along with Cook and Hubbard, so...
Very good. I reckon we might cut to a break here, Trent. Give ourselves a nice little couple of minutes to get our breath back, and then we'll be back with you here from Jubilee Park for the second quarter of the Division 3 Seniors Reserves Grand Final.
worse than it was.
Now there's the bottom line reality of it all. He's got no idea.
Welcome back to Jubilee Park. Got quarter time break just finishing up now. The Donvale boys and the Waverley Blues boys, they're getting ready for their senior open grand final. Watching the Razzies just kick it off. They'll be a couple hours away from starting. Meanwhile, we're looking at Waverley Blues 3-2-20, leading Warrandyte 2-1-13 at quarter time, Trent. Weather's just starting to get a little bit more overcast. Another layer to this grand final, I reckon. Wouldn't say there's rain imminent. Looks like it could be coming.
I'm not going to comment on the weather. I don't want to jinx anything, but fingers crossed the rain does stay away. Got an action-packed day ahead.
Big day.
Grand finals galore.
Waverley Blues coach will be happy at quarter time. Interesting. Looks like Waverley Blues playing their full forward, one out in the forward 50. Second quarter underway. Two ruckmen go at it. Warrandyte get first hands. Ball scraps around. Waverley Blues player taking the tackle ball up.
So 7 points the difference here. It's slap forward. Bodies just crash in. Throw a blanket over 20 of them here. Start this second term.
That's grand final, Trent. Everyone wants a piece of the pill. Get that medal around your neck at the end of the day.
There's a good crowd building here. So back in the middle here. It's just kicked forward into space from Waverley Blues. That was Butcher. There's a race on. Good shepherd applied from the Blues defender, although a smother to match was even better.
As you said,
take a guess, it was one of the Wilson boys.
I'm going to say Jack had a very good first quarter. Busy is the term I use a lot, but he was absolutely exhibiting just that. It's what you want in finals. Lots of pressure, ball in. Ruck contest here. Boundary throw in, full short of both ruckmen. Waverley Blues take advantage of it. Get the kick away. Dropped there by Facey. And Warrandyte wrap up Waverley Blues, and holding the ball is going to go against Waverley Blues. Harbison was going for the switch down the middle, offering himself, didn't get it. Ball goes inside forward 50 instead. Bit of a snap from the boundary line. Deep pockets here at Jubilee Park. Unsuccessful by Warrandyte. And instead we'll find a ball up on the other side of the goals that it was kicked from, Trent.
Yeah, that was done, I think, from Warrandyte there. Just miscued his kick forward.
Probably had a little bit more time as well than what he gave off.
I don't think the big Chief Dunstall would be happy with that triple kick. As it's slapped forward. There's the big ruckman, Sims, getting involved. Tries to find Facey by foot. It's just out of his reach, and we'll have a throw in.
Sims has positioned himself quite well a couple of times when he's not doing the main rucking. Not inside either forward or defensive 50. Putting himself in a spot where he can be used. He wins the hit out here. Great tackle there from Hansen, Waverley Blues. He takes Shelton to the ground. Two big balls around the contest, those two. Looks like they're playing on each other. That'll be a very good matchup.
So there's Sims again. Just palms it down the throat of Facey. Footy was too hot to handle. There's Warrandyte. Tries to tap it to advantage, but it trickles over. We'll have a secondary throw in, same spot. Wearing out that patch of grass there.
Ball has been busy on this near side. Hit out gets there, but from Warrandyte. Looks like Hansen was taken high there, and the umpire picks up on it a bit late. No advantage given. So he'll get the ball back. Gives both teams a chance to reset. Short kick was on there to Hubbard. Not given. Instead, umpire is pushing the back, and that'll go the way of Waverley Blues again. This time it's the hand of Rowan Welsh. No, not Rowan Welsh. Ethan Daffy instead. Playing high at the ground. Short kick was on to Hubbard. Nice little kick in the pocket. Tried to find Corn there unsuccessfully. Instead gets in the hands of the Warrandytes. Kick goes down the wing.
So Cook now just points to where this ball's going. Big pack forms. There's representation at the full for Waverley Blues. They hand it off. Although again, once more, deja vu at this end. Kicks skewed across the face. And in the opposite pocket, we'll have a throw in.
Neither team's had a lot of luck kicking across goal since the opening goal for each team this match. It's twice in a row now in a couple of minutes. Boundary throwing goes 20 metres out from Waverley Blues goal. Dalton tried to get the handball away. Quick kick goes to the top of the goal square. Unsuccessful for the Waverley Blues. Warrandyte really scrapping to try and get this out. Boundary line would be a win for both teams here. Centering kick from the Waverley Blues. Going to pick it up was Welsh, unsuccessfully. Both teams now just diving desperately for the ball, trying to gain real possession of it. Warrandyte end up wrapping up the Waverley Blues about 45 metres out on a slide angle from their goal.
So 5 minutes into this second term here. It's hot in the kitchen early. Pressure gauge is right up. Both teams fighting it hard to gain possession in free space. It's slapped forward from Sims. And there's the no name, number 61. Just slaps it out of there. A hurried exit. Warrandyte will lead the race onto this one. Although the trailing pressure was good. Ball's still in dispute. Facey's there. Can go down the line with a measured ball. In front spot was Warrandyte. Looked to be held. Gets it back now. Tries to step through traffic. There's the leg speed of Warrandyte on display. Although he overran it in the end. Turnover city at the moment. Trying to spin out of traffic there. Doing it well was Daniel Lawson. Just throws it on the boot forward. Courage back with the flight. Warrandyte, it won't work out. Spilt and then a long ball forward.
Trent from Cooper Addison going back with the flight. Taken pretty heavily in the back. He gets up and does his job. I do also apologise. We don't actually have the name for number 61. You would have seen a lot of it from Warrandyte. Presumably just with the long sleeves that he's wearing may have resulted in a Guernsey change, a number change. Kick out for Warrandyte, unsuccessful, falls into the hands of the Waverley Blues. Running onto that was Corbett. Warrandyte get there first. Handle on the far wing. Plenty of room to run here for Warrandyte. Just reset themselves, try and get the handball out. Number 61 with the sleeves that we were talking about. He got a hand on, soccer forward by Waverley Blues very quickly. A weird, strange backwards kick, almost worked out in the strangest of ways. Mark drop by Dalton. And now Warrandyte, they'll reap the rewards of that drop mark going forward. Mark finds Luke Dunn, 60 metres out from his goal, and he hits up the man, Gareth Hitchman, Trent. He'll be backing himself from here.
Yeah, no doubt. 45-degree angle. I'll let Will take this one away.
Hitchman, the leading goal kicker here for the Div 3 Resis. I've been just given something on a silver platter from Trent. Hopefully Gareth can finish the job for me. Unbelievable kick. Never doubted him at all. Trent called it. Get around him. Warrandyte level the goal kicking. 3 goals apiece here, separated by 2 points. Waverley Blues 3-3-21. Warrandyte 3-1-19. Matty Fodia telling us to get around it, just like the boys were getting around Gareth Hitchman. Number 55 for his season, Trent.
55, he's added 2 today. Got off the leash on that occasion. And you can pencil that one in, 45-degree angle.
It's a hard job playing on him.
Not difficult at all. So back in the centre of Jubilee Reserve here. It's slapped forward the way of Warrandyte, although the Blues will get the clearance. Trying to spin through traffic with a fend off. Caught. And there's a bit of an aftermath too. Advantage is paid. It'll go the way to Wilson. Jack spilt the mark. He's got his hands full at ground level now. Facey picks up for the Blues and slaps it forward. No communication in the air, although it's brought down by Noonan. He's quick to play on, just wheels and goes to a one-on-one contest. There's Duffy. Can't collect, and then at ground level again. And caught again was number 30, Morey. Ball just bubbling about still. Tried to manufacture a ball forward. Didn't work out. It's coughed up and running onto it without breaking stride was Appleby there. And they can go the shortest route to home. So Noonan once more can put this one into the path of his teammate, who's pressured front on, beats the tackler, storms clear, and can put this to the teeth of goal. And the mark's been taken again by Hitchman.
I think it might be done this time, Trent. Hitchman was free. Easily confusable. Two very good players for Warrandyte. It's a gutsy call there from Mackin from Waverley Blues. Had to leave Hitchman, your man, Trent. You see Dunn go around the corner. Gets it done! To the right of the side of the goals. Nice little behind there. As I was saying, Trent, easily confusable. Hitchman he actually had a bit of space there. Mackin had to leave his man Hitchman to go and attack the ball carrier. Didn't end up in Hitchman's hands. Dunn's instead, but there's a behind to the near side. A little bit anticlimactic. See, kick in taken here by the Waverley Blues. Janikos goes long down the far side line. Nice little mark there taken. You just reset here, Waverley Blues. Warrandyte have had the run of play the last 10. Ball goes down the far side. Tried to be kept in by Dalton. Ball goes out of play for a throw-in.
So halfway point this second term here. It's grand final day for these two sides. Heavyweights of the third division competition. The reserves, that is. It's thrown back into play. There's been a whistle. He points both ways in the end.
Good call from the umpire. I did see that. Holding on in and around the contest.
It's going the way of the Blues.
Morey specifically.
He's had a good couple of minutes. Morey takes this free kick and can put this one to a hot spot. 30 out. Flies fly and it's slapped forward. Sort of a blind rush kick. Will land in the chest of Cox there for Warrandyte, whose exit ball can find Dibb, who tried to just hand pass it into space. Didn't work and it's coughed up. Run down tackle applied. Warrandyte. Sheldon it was.
Oh, what vision.
Too slow in the end. Front on again. Couple of big hits. Space of 2 minutes and Warrandyte players down.
Keen to see the replay here, Trent. Looked like a relatively straight on bump, but he's clearly collected him high. Looks in a fair bit of discomfort. The Warrandyte player. Don't have a name for him yet. Hopefully he's all well and good.
It's a footy contest. Both players rather. Eyes for the footy.
Ben Richardson, I think it might be. Thank you, Matt. As I said, seems to be in a fair bit of discomfort. Play will just hold for a second. We've got the stretcher just sitting out on the boundary. Something we don't want, but Richardson slowly just moving to his feet here. Very big act of courage. Was probably undersized in that contest, Trent. Being able to walk off on his own accord. He'll get all the necessary medical checkups here. Ball is in the hands of Warrandyte though, Trent. Cullen Hall, I think, will be taking this ball forward. Going long, touching the forward 50. Flying high was Warrandyte, unsuccessfully. Waverley Blues, they get the rebound 50. Not too far, straight down the centre of the ground. Finds Cullen Hall again. He gets the handball off to Jaksic. To our man, number 61 in the sleeves. Nice little left foot Bowden, we've just been told, in the sleeves. Ball goes inside forward 50. Waverley Blues scrap up again, this time through Daniel Lawson. Gives the handball off. And back to Hubbard. He's been busy this second quarter.
And so is Cullen Hall as well for Warrandyte. Called his name a fair few times. Kicked down the line. There's Daffy. And 25's been paid. He was hot on the whistle there. That's a short 25. So on the arc of 50, Waverley Blues could pop this one to a hot spot. Using his body well was the Warrandyte defender on the last line. And now they could switch it. And losing his footing there. It was too quick for his own good. The ball set up kindly for him and they can work it out by hand, although Morey will run onto this one. Just invited the pressure, did the missed handball. That scrap forward, putting his head in the hole well there was Warrandyte. They can try and exit, just running the gauntlet, tiptoeing the boundary line, and it'll find itself over. So 60 out from home.
Has been quite congested, Trent, in Waverley Blues forward 50, but when Warrandyte have been able to get the ball, there's been a lot of room to come out this side of the ground. There's been a lot of packing on the far side. Boundary throw-in goes in. Scrappy ball right around the arc of the 50, 45-degree angle. Umpire says ball up. Noonan just sitting by himself here at the back of the contest. That'll be because he's preparing himself to go up in the ruck. Teammate takes range instead. And we see a little bit more tackling pressure, Trent. Last 30 seconds, been a lot of it.
So just over 5 minutes left to play out here in this second term. He's used his body, big body to advantage there as Warrandyte can tiptoe the boundary line. Dangerous inboard ball. Facey collects. And they pay the ultimate price.
Lets him know too.
And there's a bit of an aftermath too.
Don't mind that from Facey, just letting him know.
Got right up in the face, didn't he? Of his teammate who turned it over.
Down the middle of the defensive 50, 15 metres out from your own goal. Noonan's been very, very good this second quarter. Probably tried to bite off a little bit too much. That kick, in all fairness, didn't have much of an option really. There wasn't anything leading towards him. There's some slick work from Joe Facey to just pick that up and go through, Trent. Very well called. First bit of argy-bargy we've really seen this grand final. As I said, love it.
Hopefully that just sparks the match, doesn't it? Facey there.
I think this half's about to go up another notch, Trent. 4.5 minutes left. Tom Miles just sprints towards forward 50, coming off the bench for Waverley Blues. Hit up by Warrandyte, finds the hands of Waverley Blues, intercept marked by Warrandyte. Into the hands of Lockie Richardson. He goes out to the far wing, finds the chest of his teammate, and will go forward again, this time in the hands of Harvey Wilson. He'll go inside forward 50 for Warrandyte. Attempted spoil there from Smith, goes past him. Taken to ground there was the Warrandyte player. And Waverley Blues just scrapping for the boundary line successfully in the end.
It's on again here at ground level. Tensions flaring once more. There's been a free kick awarded the way of Derkanos, the instigator on that occasion. First time we've called his name this afternoon. Pumps his long left foot down the line. Big pack forms. Warrandyte have good representation at ground level. They can go inboard to Morey, who flies. Was somewhat infringed in the marking contest and tried to pick up his own crumbs and was caught in the process. It's coughed it up the way of Warrandyte. There's Richardson stepping through traffic. Just flicks it over to his ruckman standing still. Set him a big task. And now a high ball, high up and under in the centre ground. Daffy did well to tap it to his teammate in Miles. Facey once more getting involved. Back to Morey. Just flips this one over the top. Into the path of his teammate again. Smother applied. Brewis it was. Turnover, Warrandyte.
Ball going forward here now for Warrandyte. Waverley Blues seem to have the numbers. They'll look to rebound here well. Great tackle there by Warrandyte, not letting them do it easy. Gives the handball off Warrandyte with possession, given holding the ball. Into the hands of Lloyd Butcher. Playing on now. Left foot. Strange decision to not go straight inside forward 50. Brewis picks up the scraps, the big man. Cannon left foot down the far wing. almost found the chest of Wesley Smith. Drops. Warrandyte take advantage. Great intercept mark there by Hanson. Was going to say Warrandyte had the legs there, but Hanson was too good, positioned himself well, and they'll kick out again on the far wing. Big left foot kick by Durkanos. Finds Facey. We know what he can do. Finds his teammate in Morey. He's really picked up this second half, Trent.
Bites off the 45 ball. This is what we were missing in the first term. Although it's coughed up in the end, and a good tackle's applied there from the Waverley Blues.
Sensational.
Midfielder it was.
Daniel Lawson.
Lawson it was. Had the height advantage, just chips this one over the top. He can play on. Waverley Blues tries to step his marker and is caught. Great rundown, tackle applied.
An eye for an eye, Trent.
It was Richardson it was.
Thought he had far too much time there. Warrandyte, they'll now press to go forward, possibly for the last time this half, into the hand of Jack Wilson. Fair bump applied there from Dalton for Waverley Blues. He'll get the ball back from his teammate. Driving ball inside 50, but Warrandyte very well set up behind the ball, and that's another intercept mark. And they've got about 40 seconds to go end to end. Looking for Mitchell Wilson here on the far wing. That'll work. Just chewing off the time here, Trent, making sure Waverley Blues can't go forward again with purpose. Ball down the line here. Nice little spoil from Daniel Lawson. Called his names a few times in the last few minutes. Waverley Blues go forward, but Warrandyte, again, well set up behind the ball. It's an intercept mark taken by Noonan. Gives the handball off. Interesting decision to go to his teammate there. Snatched off by Hubbard. Last chance here, Waverley Blues. They've got 8 seconds. Favourable bounce for the Blues. Ball scraps around the forward 50. No one picks it up. Warrandyte, have they done enough to just hold on here to half time? They have. 7-point ball game at half time, Trent. A lot of players look like it's taken a lot out of them that last 5 minutes. Quick takeaways before we go to a break, Trent, on the first half.
Yeah, well, that was good by Warrandyte then, just to flood their defensive 50. A red time goal would have killed them. Would have hurt them, rather. But, yeah, so 7 points the difference here. I thought Cullen Hall stood up then for Warrandyte. Sort of plays that Tom Stewart role, just floating across to intercept.
Yeah, it looks like a bit of a key defender as well as a bit of a intercept, but we can talk about that all on the other side in the second half here. Division 3 Seniors Reserves Grand Final. Currently have Waverley Blues 4-3-27 leading Warrandyte 3-2-20 here out at Jubilee Park. Welcome back to Jubilee Park. We're about to get the second half of this Division 3 Seniors Reserves Grand Final underway. 7-point lead to Waverley Blues at the half time. About to kick off. Warrandyte kicking to the right of screen. Big quarter for them, Trent. Got to pick it up. It's two quarters left in their season, and they're down by 7 points. All in readiness here. Goal umpire's just getting ready. Two quarters left in this season, Trent, for both teams. Ball goes up. Pretty even hit out to begin with. Warrandyte look to get first hands on it. They don't. Waverley Blues, they take advantage. Scrappy ball socket forward into Waverley Blues 50. Attempted pick up there from Monks. Unsuccessful. Gets taken to ground anyway. Ball out of bounds just around Waverley Blues forward 50.
So 50 out from home, the way of the Blues. It's fisted forward in that direction. That was Sims. Daffy thrown out of it. Warrandyte can pick up the pieces at ground level. Richardson, his ball forward was smothered. They flick it over the top by hand, although it missed its intended target and bodies crash in at ground level. The umpire crosses his chest. We'll have another ball up. 60 out from home this time. The way of the Waverley Blues. There's Facey, got the match up on one of the Wilson brothers. Michael, it might have been. Sims gets the hit out. High up and under forward from Lawson. Just lands into space. Duffy tries to slap it to advantage. Holding free kick's been picked out. And it'll go the way of Warrandyte, so they can clear on the outer wing side.
Umpire had us on the string there for a second. Thought it was going the way of Waverley Blues. Ball picked up now by Warrandyte, specifically Richardson. He's taken in the tackle. That'll be a ball up. 55 metres out on a fair angle on the far side. Sims been dangerous this first half. Really good matchup with Brewis. Ball goes up. Sims gets first touch again. Ball goes to ground. No clear winner from the stoppage. Ball gets kicked high but not long inside Waverley Blues forward 50. Picked up by the Blues but tackled hard, Warrandyte.
So Facey it was. Just puts his fluoro pink headband back on. Ready to do battle once more. So it's tossed high again. There's Sims in front spot. Just taps it over his head. Facey runs onto it. Just tiptoes the boundary line and it's called out.
That was very well set up for a goal of the day there, Trent. Great ruck work from Sims. And then on the fly, off the bounce, was Facey. Ball gets thrown in now. 35 metres out from Waverley Blues goal. Warrandyte get first hands on it. Dangerous kick across the goal though. Now it's there for the taking. Handball was given off from Daffy to his teammate, well tackled by Cox. We see another ball up this side of the ground.
So Waverley Blues, it's been played in their half to start. Richardson was palmed down his throat and just kicks it into space. A 2-on-1. Waverley Blues lead that. Although getting on his bike well was Warrandyte, player who was held off it. You saw the jumper pulled. Waverley Blues can look to head inside 50 now, and standing tall was Cullen Hall. Just stood in the path of a leading Duffy.
Exactly what it did in the first half, Trent.
And brought it to ground. Spots up a teammate on the lead. It's through his hands. Turnover. Back from whence it came. Waverley Blues, Duffy bumped out of it. Was just nudged under the footy, Monks. That's a new name. They can head on the outer wing side now. Low drilling ball will trickle out. Out on the full it's called. Terrible skill error. And Waverley Blues now with a chance to head back inside forward 50.
Good kick from Butcher. He finds Welsh. Welsh goes Pretty long inside forward 50. Attempted mark there from Waverley Blues. Unsuccessful, specifically Dorr. From the boundary was Facey. It's a high contact call on Facey on the boundary, and that'll be a free kick here for Waverley Blues. Be a huge start to their second half of this grand final. Ethan Duffy looks to be the man who's got his hands on the pill. First in, best dress. And from just 8 metres out here, Trent. All he has to do is kick it straight. Ethan Duffy gets it done. First goal of the second half, Waverley Blues. Number 32, Ethan Duffy, he gets it done. Right place, right time for him, Trent. Some really good work on the boundary from Joe Facey led to that free kick. And we've got ourselves underway.
Seems to be the scoring end too. Duffy there making no mistake. From point blank range it was, at 10 or so metres out. Just kicks it onto the hill up there. If you're in the area, pop in down. Grand final day here at Jubilee Park.
A lot of people here.
I'd probably advise you to walk. It's tough to find a spot. So back in the centre now. Sims to do battle in the ruck. It's palmed down in the direction of Bowden it was. Waverley Blues get the clearance though. Trying to defend grimly there was Warrandyte. On his hands and knees, Shelton. It's flicked out. Ball just still bubbling about. The umpire circles and then calls it mine. So on the arc of forward 50, Sims there. He's been paid the free kick.
Good call.
He stood in the right spot all day. And that height advantage winning out this time. Spots a teammate all on his lonesome. Was just unmanned inside forward 50. That was Hubbard for the Waverley Blues. And they can add another 2 in 2 minutes coming up.
Jeez, not the start that Warrandyte want. Oh, kicks off. Tries to find his teammate in Dorr unsuccessfully. Probably should have had the shot himself there, Hubbard. Didn't. Now the ball finds itself out on the far wing. Waverley Blues are able to just reconvene, put it back inside forward 50. Big target there was Johnson, unsuccessfully marks it. Dangerous ball, had the kick, smothered. Ron Welsh has his kick smothered and has rushed through for a behind. Unbelievably dangerous ball there from Warrandyte. Not sure what they were thinking going across goal that close. And we had the kick out for Warrandyte.
Welsh it was, just tried to put in a bit of a party trick move there. The spinning pirouette didn't work. There's Bowden now, just shrugs off a wimpy tackler and sliding in to take a good mark for the Waverley Blues there. It was number 65 in Thomas Macon. Spots a teammate on the 45 in Cook, who can just sit it on the head of his teammate. A hospital pass. Bowden's there to get the crumbs at ground level. Just floats the ball forward. It'll dribble into the path of his teammate who can't trap it. The half volley. Now a high free kick. You can hear the groans of the the Warrandyte supporters.
Harrison Cook rewarded there for putting his head over the ball, Trent. Cook kicks long down the line. Tries to find a teammate in Duffy, unsuccessfully. Warrandyte pick up the scraps. Bowden gets himself in the good spot again. High contact, his way again. No advantage given. Noonan tried to take it. He goes looking inside. Right option, good kick. Hits Shelton. Gives the handball off now. Cullen Hall, he goes inside 50 for the first time this quarter for Warrandyte. And an intercept mark taken there by Butcher. And the Waverley Blues have a chance to reset, Trent.
It was a promising build-up. That last entry causing them problems at the moment. So tucked up against the boundary line. It'll be Hunter with ball in hand. Just slaps it out of there. And the exit ball will work, although it's turned over in the air. Sorry, Warrandyte mark. They can head inside 50, a low ball through the hands of Wilson.
Downfield.
And a downfield free will mean Jack Wilson can line up from an uncomplicated 30 out and draw this deficit closer.
Very, very similar to what we saw down the other end with Joe Facey getting a free kick to him and then had a free kick palmed off to a teammate downfield.
So Jack Wilson now with it all ahead of him. The premiership quarter strolls in now. Jack Wilson, what's he got from the set shot? A minor score, that's the result.
Tugged it right.
Much needed goal goes begging.
Wes Smith on kick-out duties here for Waverley Blues. Interesting to see where he goes. No real obvious option. So he kicks a very dangerous ball. Joe Facey finds himself with high contact again. That pink Flora headband that you and him both own, Trent, comes off his head.
It's a good indicator of a high contact free, isn't it, when it falls off?
Yep. He kicks down the line, tries to look for his teammate. Great intercept mark. Colin Hall has been doing this all day. He's starting to become a focal point for Warrandyte. Really giving them as much chance as possible to rebound 50 and go forward. Looks for a teammate unsuccessfully. Waverley Blues get their handball out. Tried to look for a teammate in Maury. Didn't get two hands to it. And that is Lorenzo tackled by Ron Welsh. Just outside the 50-metre mark, Trent. You can smell something's about to happen.
So there's Sims in front spot. There's a pushing free as the umpire gestured. It'll go the way of the big ruckman for the Blues. Just surveys the scene ahead. He's got options further afield down the line. Heads in that direction, front and centre. It's all Warrandyte. And they can head back inside 50 as they please. Ball in hand now. Palorenzo heads inside 50. The bounce was unkind for a leading forward. And then wrapped up well was Joshua Hunter. He became the hunted.
Warrandyte have picked up this last 5 minutes, Trent. I think they've realised that they've got to score here. Goals not easy to come by in grand finals, let alone in the second half. So we see them lose possession here, holding the ball given. Nice little tackle there from Hansen. He finds the team out on the far side. Now they'll rebound. Waverley Blues play on, looking down the middle. Chest mark by Corn. He'll reset. Rowan Welsh just calling for it on this near side. Instead, Corn goes long on his left foot. Goes inside, but two Warrandyte defenders, they'll rack that up. And another intercept mark, and they'll rebound again. Ball finds the chest of Dib. Gives the handball off. Just a neat little passage to play here. Not given holding the ball. Lost possession. Waverley Blues go back inside forward 50. Focal point looking for a target. Big mark, big fly from Sam Johnson. Doesn't bring it down. Warrandyte, they'll rebound again, but the pressure's starting to build on their defensive 50 pretty quickly.
So Jack Sick it was, the clearing ball. Warrandyte, or Waverley Blues with the outnumber. Although they can't collect it cleanly by hand. There's Bowden, there's a man down behind play. The play resumes in the end. Noonan, he's left football down the line, trying to use his body well. There's a holding free. You could hear the groans, the moans and groans of the supporting crowd as they try and grasp it at ground level. Now there's a whistle, and it'll go the way of the Blues. So Durkanos opts to switch it. It's a dangerous ball, just sits it on the head of his teammate, and a pushing free. Advantage is paid. Bodies down everywhere. There's trainers rushing to the edge, every part of this ground. Back in the centre now, Sims, just off a step, dumps a long one to his teammate on the 45, who collects now. Dalton it was. Hot spot ball. Warrandyte had good representation at the fall. There's Cullen Hall wrapped up. Tries to get his hands free. Did in the end. But to the opposition player whose kick was smothered. Moore turns tackler. That was just thrown out of it. Sims, long way down at ground level. Tries to collect, just shrugs off all that came before him. Still bubbling about. Now there's a whistle. A time to catch our breath.
Trent, what a minute of football that was. That was grand final football. 3 or 4 bodies going down in the space of 30 seconds. Looks like most of them are okay or have come off the ground. We're still waiting on one. We see a free kick go Warrandyte's way in their defensive 50. They'll try to rebound quickly. Come just down the outside of the centre square, our side. Pushing the back, not given to Warrandyte. Waverley Blues, they'll take advantage of it and go straight back forward. Misdirected handball goes out of bounds. And we'll have a throw in. 13 minutes gone in this third quarter. Waverley Blues 5-4-34 to Warrandyte 3-3-21. 13-point ball game down here at Jubilee Park.
Yeah, tried to find Facey, but he needed to be 10 foot taller. Sims in front spot again, tries to flick it over his head. He's done that the majority of the day with the height advantage. So on the Eastland logo, it'll be tossed up for the Rucks to contest again. It's been a fascinating battle to watch. Warrandyte will get the clearance here, although the handball He was under pressure. Tries to turn tackler. Dumps his opposition player into the turf. Waverley Blues can head inside 50 now. There's Welsh at the back. Can't make a contest. Now it's just hurried ball. Will land on the head of Noonan, who is strong in the air. He's got options further afield. Just heads to the numbers. Big fly! Taken there. Mark of the year, it has to be said.
Luke Shelton.
Shelton it was, with one for the ages.
Trent, how about that? Unbelievable fly from Shelton. I think the umpire had his view slightly distorted, but unbelievable mark. This is now set up in the set shot for Gareth Hitchman. Come with the moment. Come with Gareth, I reckon, Trent. Lines up, will kick on the 50. Doesn't hit it sweetly, goes to the top of the square. No mark given. Ball brought to Warrandyte's hands, and that'll be a ball up. Just 6 metres out from Warrandyte's goal, Trent.
So, big chance here for Warrandyte. The Rovers can go to work. Ground level, they just try and run the gauntlet down the line. Hurried exit. Warrandyte player couldn't collect on the half volley. It's a hot footy at the moment. The pressure gauge is lifted. Facey turns tackler as Waverley Blues look to try and burst clear. And we'll have a ball up in front of the sponsors there on the fence. So tossed high once more. Sims was late to contest in the ruck. Waverley Blues will look to just try and run it out of there. Bodies crash in, stacks on style. 60 out from home. The way of Warrandyte.
As far as you can get from our side, Trent. Ball goes up. Sims gets first hand, goes to ground. No one really picks it up. Waverley Blues eventually do get the handball out of rebound 50. Interesting left foot kick finds the chest of Warrandyte, who are very well set up behind the ball this third quarter. Need to make the most of it. Go bang. Long inside forward 50. Great mark taken there by Shelton. 2 in 2 minutes. This is his chance to rectify the missed opportunity probably a couple minutes ago from Warrandyte. Jeez, this is a big kick in the context of the game, Trent. You can just tell Warrandyte have this game by the grip of their neck at the moment. They just need to convert. Shelton runs in. Left foot kick. Really sprays it left. Attempted mark there, gone up was Hitchman. Didn't get it. Waverley Blues get the scraps and they'll kick out of their defensive 50. To no one in particular. Picked up again, this time by Cox. Waverley Blues, they intercept. Now they're running on the far wing. Kick on the ground. Attempted pick up by Cullen Hall, unsuccessful. He'll get it back though. Teammates help him out. Interesting kick. Mark taken on the chest by Jaksic. Resetting, really taking on the middle of the ground here. If they can get it and go, they'll work. Mark taken this time by Mitch Wilson. Goes even further outside. Doesn't hit the chest of the other Wilson in Harvey. Now it's a foot race between on a 1v1. Harvey gets the better of him. Handball taken by Vaughan. Doesn't hit a target. He'll get it back though. Needs to get a kick away. Does. Going up for it this time. Good mark. Really good mark by Dernikos. Trying to get my breath back, Trent. I'll give it to you.
So Dernikos there had his name written all over that. 2 Warrandyte players just looked at each other. His short ball was a dangerous one. Bit dicey. And it'll cause a stoppage.
Supporters starting to find their vocal cords, Trent.
It's good to see.
Warming up.
And here, I guess.
And here.
So, true centre wing, broadcast side. High free kick, and it'll go the way of Sims. Fair to say he's won that ruck contest today.
It's a tough matchup, but he's done very, very well.
We haven't got a number on his hit-outs to advantage, but it's well in his favour. So, dumps a high one. Big up and under. The pack forms. Welsh nutmegged him. Cullen Hall picks up at ground level. Facey applies the pressure. And then it's touched over the line to be thrown in front of a packed fence here at Jubilee Park. They're strung across.
1 minute to go, Trent.
So there's Sims. He was caught eye once more again. Welsh tries to turn tackler on Noonan. They sweep it over the top to Richardson, and then pivots to step back.
Great kick.
And head to the broadcast side. Find his teammate who just throws it on the boot. A late hit there from Wilson it was. Won't be awarded as the rain pelts down here at Jubilee Park.
Starting to come down.
The marker there was Butcher, sorry. So Lloyd Butcher. As we tick under the closing stages of this third term. Spilling the mark there was Gassara for the Blues, and then trying to step through traffic was Lawson. Ball bubbling about. The task was too big for Sims at ground level. And his teammate wrapped up the Warrandyte player. That was Gassara on Wilson.
Last 10 seconds here of the third quarter. Free kick given the way of Warrandyte, but it's all too late time-wise, unfortunately. Siren will blow. Get a long kick down the line. Clock's ticked over 20 minutes, and there we go. Siren's gone. 13-point ball game going into three-quarter time, Trent. Very, very even. I would have said that Warrandyte dominated the passage of play for the probably 15 minutes of that quarter, but Waverley Blues, they got the upper hand in the first 5 minutes, and now it's probably Waverley Blues to lose, despite how close this contest is.
So 13 points the difference here. Jubilee Park, they had stages of momentum there. Warrandyte, we'll see if they can draw back this deficit as we turn for home here in the third division grand final.
I'm busy here.
We're back, Trent. We've got 1 quarter left of this Resi's Grand Final between Warrandyte and Waverley Blues. As we know, Waverley Blues, they've got a 13-point buffer heading into this last quarter. 20 minutes of their season left, Trent. It's going to be all or nothing for both teams. Particularly excited to see Warrandyte, how they're going to just handle this last quarter after dominating most of the third without much scoreboard pressure.
Just sort of a delayed message there from the Waverley Blues coach. Love to be a fly in that huddle, listening in on the last words of this final term.
Last coach's debrief for the season, Trent. Got some Medusa just rolling around the ground, sound speakers. Fox footy anthem going on at 3/4 time as well. Well done, Matt Fodia. All's in readiness here, Trent. As we said, 20 minutes of the season left, and they're done for the year. Can't wait to see who's going to give it their all and who's going to shine on the biggest stage. It's been even around the grounds for the most part, but Waverley Blues just had that edge on the scoreboard.
So siren sounds to mark the final term. Grand final between two heavyweights of the Div 3 competition. The clearance is won by Warrandyte. They head inside 50. Tracking it at ground level there was done. Just slaps it forward on the boot. And in front spot was his teammate in Noonan. It was. The outstretched hands working on this occasion, brings it to ground. And he's got it all ahead of him for the perfect start if you're a fan of the red and the white.
Took 20 seconds to get that mark inside forward 50, Trent. Great start.
So Liam Noonan, 45-degree angle for the perfect start, as I've said. Bit of an anti-climax there.
Ticked it right. Tough angle for a drop punt. Like the decision to go traditionally, but always hard from there. Waverley Blues get the kick out. Right boot just goes outside for the forward 50 and heads to the boundary straight away. Good pressure from Noonan, force that out after missing that set shot.
It's imperative that they lock this in.
Yep, they've done the hard work in that first centre clearance, got the ball out, now they have to keep it there till they score a goal. Hit out Waverley Blues. Facey gets his hands on the ball, got a handball out, decided not to kick, gets it back. Intercepted by Warrandyte, forces another boundary throw in. Minute 30 down in this last quarter.
So it'll be thrown in again, 60 out from Warrandyte's home. Ball just bubbling about, no real clean possession. Diving on top of the footy there, it was Appleby. Ground level, it's worked out. Shelton again, just throws it on the boot and it'll trickle out.
Not the worst result.
Luke Shelton stepping up in big moments. Gives Warrandyte a chance. Deep inside forward 50. Right forward pocket, it's thrown in. Two rucks to contest again. It's fisted down the throat of Facey, who didn't even have to move. Can head on the outer wing side now. It's sailed over a 2-1 contest and Warrandyte happy to see it over.
Done well to keep this ball out of their goals so far, Waverley Blues. Warrandyte have come out swinging in this first couple minutes, but ball goes in on the far side. Ball goes to ground. Facey gets the early handball to no avail. Socket forward by Waverley Blues. Picked up well by their half-forward flank. Handball goes out the back. Nice little kick forward there by Miles. Doesn't find the chest of a teammate. Ball grappled along the ground. Free run here for Dorr. Going forwards, Facey. Has a leg. Just finds the behind. First minor score for the quarter for Waverley Blues. That was an open shot for Facey there. Would have liked to take his chances, but they'll reset.
Warrandyte coach won't be happy with that end-to-end stuff. No real pressure applied front on. As the exit ball on broadcast side, not breaking stride, was the Waverley Blues player. Smith it was, just dobs it forward. It'll land in space. Warrandyte have the numbers at ground level. And then just walk it over the try line. Oh. And he'll have the kick-out duties. So 14-point ball game here. 17 minutes left to play out. Grand final here. Reserves footy, it's fisted. Well from Warrandyte.
Great spoil, Cox.
The pressure's hot early. Can't be slow with the footy in hand. Facey's there. And he'll just see it just bounce on the wrong side of the line. Warrandyte can wheel and go. Shelton there. Just with the one mitt.
Had to work, got it.
Brings it down, flicks it over the top. Cullen Hall was running shotgun. Can dump this one to a 2-on-2 contest. There's Noonan at ground level. Tries to get his hands free. Had a teammate there, missed him. And then works back. A second effort, butters up. Appleby's there. Spilt what he should have taken. It'll work out. They've got time. Off a step was Bowden in the long sleeve. Could spot up a teammate. Tucked up against the pocket.
Mitchie Wilson.
Boundary line side. There it is. Wilson it is. Of the Mitch variety. Seems to be backing himself from the angle. I like the confidence.
Drop punt too.
Big grand final moment coming up. Tucked up against the pocket. He's made a good fist of it. And then it's thumped through by a Waverley Blues fist. So we're dealing in minor scores to start 5 minutes into the fourth term, Will.
Yeah, 13 points, back two, just like we started with this quarter. Warrandyte really needs to get going here. Got to take a chance early, make it close all the way through the quarter. Waverley Blues get their kick out, finds their hands, not in the form of the mark, but they get it forward anyway. It's now a foot race between Waverley Blues and Warrandyte players. Nice little effort over the boundary there.
Push.
Cooper Addison forces it over and gets the free kick for it as well. Doesn't hesitate to go down the middle of the ground. Great kick, great execution. Needed that from that kick. It's a dangerous part of the ground. Appleby has the ball in his hands. Quick little chip kick down the middle of the ground. Finds the hands of Jaksic, who got long inside forward 50 with his left foot. But dropped mark by the Waverley Blues defender. Handball given by Warrandyte unsuccessfully. Intercept possession there for Waverley Blues. Scraps it out of their defensive 50. Good attack on the ball from Appleby. Noonan has the ball from 50. Has a cannon on the leg. Goes forward. Wilson has the mark. Doesn't get it. Unbelievable spoil on the goal line there. James Hansen. Great little piece of effort. We'll see another behind for Warrandyte. 2-goal game, 6.5 minutes gone in this last quarter. And the ball gets kicked out here again by Waverley Blues.
So they can head to the numbers on broadcast side. Warrandyte had good representation at the fall. They can flick it over the top to Dibb, who just miscues his kick to centre half forward. And it'll land in the lap of Lawson it was, Daniel Lawson. He stood up when it's mattered for the Waverley Blues. He's got a teammate out wide. Dora it was, who just can chip this short. Taking good time off the clock here. They're in no rush. Although, as I've said that, they've played on. Hogan it was, in two minds, finds Daffy on the lead. Just trying to pick the eyes out of this Warrandyte zone. Now the long ball down the line. And it's all Warrandyte. That's what they're afraid of. Front on contact. Free kick paid. Now Warrandyte. A dangerous ball. Bit dicey. It'll work out. Mitchell Wilson.
He's in
tracking back. Goes back to go forward. And then a left foot ball finds Bowden, who's got Appleby presenting down the line. Bites off the inboard ball to Shelton. Now they can go here. They've got a wave of numbers streaming forward. There's Wilson. Can pitch this one over the top to his brother in Jack Wilson. Wilson's galore here at Jubilee Park. They sort it out by hand with the 1-2. Spots an option in the hot spot. Floating back was done. Although standing in the hole well was Butcher, it was. We've seen that before, Will.
He's done it a few times today. He's been very, very good. Stood up when they needed him for the Waverley Blues. Kick out on the far side. Exits their defensive 50, just Waverley Blues. Good crumbing on their end. Get a handball out unsuccessfully. Warrandyte have the ball now. Handballing inside their forward 50. I'd probably rather be getting a kick on. Waverley Blues gain possession and they handball their way out to Facey on the far wing. He handballs it off to Hubbard. Gets a kick long. Warrandyte have numbers, but they can make a meal of this. They don't. They scrap up well, and they've got a lot of room down the middle of the ground here. Kick inside forward 50, looking for a lead. Find him. That's our man Hitchman. Goes long, has a kick from 50. Has a fair dob, Trent. Top of the square. Mark! Taken into the goal. Luke Dunn kicks it, and Warrandyte, they're a goal down. Nearly halfway through this last quarter, Trent. Warrandyte finally hit their straps, kicked their first goal of the quarter, and it's getting close.
Jeez, we've got a grand final on our hands here. 6-point ball game. And to add salt in the wound, the Waverley Blues defender runs off, clutching his shoulder. 6 points the difference here at Jubilee Park. Halfway point of this fourth term. It's do or die now for both sides.
That was a 2-on-1 contest on the goal line there, Trent, in favour of Waverley Blues, and Dunn's done an unbelievable job to mark it, but it's got to be said, would have thought one of them would have hoped to get a fist through for a behind. Easier said than done, but ironically, no pun intended, easier said than done.
So back in the centre now, Sims went up uncontested, slapped it down to Murray. Morey, who was caught, coughed it up in the direction of Shelton, who tries to just kick it into space. It worked out. He flicked it over the top to his running teammate, who tries to take a wet weather bounce. It didn't work out in the end. He's coughed it up badly. Although, fortunately, they had the numbers. Warrandyte, it's fisted out of the reach of one of the Wilson brothers over the boundary line in front of the nets. This game's gone to another level here.
Shelton's been very good at getting himself in positions here, Trent. It's been very important this second half, a couple of crucial moments. Ball gets thrown in, 35 metres out from Warrandyte's goal. Numbers everywhere, it's grand final football. Free kick not given because the umpire says ball up. 5 metres close to that Warrandyte goal, Trent. 11 minutes gone, just over. Ball up. Shelton gets in and around it. Unsuccessfully with the tackle. Waverley Blues get a quick kick out. Now they're on the rebound here. Plenty of room on this far side. It's a 1v1 race. Waverley Blues versus Warrandyte. Waverley Blues reap the rewards early. Handball out given there by Johnson. Kick forward. Warrandyte have been set up well behind the ball all day, Trent, and they get another intercept mark.
Darcy Poole it was. Dangerous ball through the corridor. Won't work out. Running onto it there was the Waverley Blues player.
Good kick from Hubbard there.
And this would hurt if you're a fan of the red and white.
Must be said, important. The point here is also important. Takes it from a 6 to a 7-point margin. Crucial set shot here for Waverley Blues.
So Dora, it might be, was left unguarded in space and can make them pay. As a result, strolls in from the set shot. Looks to be well directed, and it is. Dora, it was. Just adds to the Waverley Blues lead.
Hurts if you're a Warrandyte fan, player, coach. Still 7.5 minutes left in this quarter, and as we've said in the third quarter, Warrandyte have been dominating possession in between the 50s. Haven't made most of their chances that they would have liked, but crucial goal for the Waverley Blues. Gives them that little bit of extra breathing space. As we know, grand finals, they don't give you much breathing space. However, they all count. Ball goes up in the middle. 13 minutes gone. 7 minutes for Warrandyte to change something here, change the lead. They get first hands on it. Waverley Blues set up well behind the ruck contest. Seeing a gainage of maybe 5 metres, Trent, from that centre bounce in favour of Warrandyte, but the umpire will ball up again.
Every time Warrandyte have had a sniff, Waverley Blues have had the answer. There's Noonan running onto it. Was quickly harassed. Facey can't collect, although his teammate can. Just pops a high one. Big pack flies. Warrandyte have good representation at ground level. Cullen Hall was held without it.
Good call from the umpire.
And it'll go the way of the red and white team. So he can go through the corridor now. It's a dangerous ball, an all or nothing ball. The race is on now. Warrandyte will get on their bike through Hitchman. Just flicks it over the top to his teammate in Dibb, who just throws it on the boot now. But it's all Waverley Blues at the fall. Defensively sound. They've been all day. So Waverley Blues can head to broadcast side Sims it was, just acted as a step ladder. The ball bounced unkindly there for Brewis. And then a great rundown tackles applied there.
Pinged.
There's a bit of an aftermath too. 25. He's paid it.
Rightly so, I think.
Jaksic it was just dumped headfirst into the turf.
It's got to be said, Dalton was probably pushing his luck there.
Now or never for Warrandyte. 5 minutes left to play out. Grand final day. Left footer on target. And it's there! Tyson Jaksic take a bow. And there's still a fighting chance, Warrandyte.
Got 5 minutes, Trent. They absolutely are. Booming left foot kick from 50. Made zero mess whatsoever.
And you just have to lament Dalton, it might have been. Just an uncharacteristic, undisciplined error.
Unnecessary. A lot of uns. 4.5 minutes. The extra 30 seconds from that goal. It's now a game of seconds, not minutes, Trent. Ball goes up in the middle. Very important ruck contest. Sims gets first hand. Goes to Warrandyte early doors. They'll have another crack at it. Bowden picks it up in the sleeves. Doesn't get a real disposal. Waverley Blues looking at the back. Sims gets a kick forward.
Throw.
Give it a throw. Interesting call there. I didn't pick it up myself, but the umpire's 100 metres closer than what we are. Cullen Hall goes forward. Just on the outskirts of the 50. Warrandyte had crummers, but Waverley Blues got there first. Facey getting close, and it's a high contact against Warrandyte. Rightly given. Still not enough time. Still too much time in the game to take seconds off the clock. Warrandyte really forcing a stoppage here. 3.5 minutes to go.
So Jaksic in front of us, just waiting for a man to relieve him. He's had his rest. Warrandyte slap this one forward. The race is on. Waverley Blues lead that. They've got the numbers. If they can sort it out by hand, they do in the end. The kick will sail over the head of Butcher it was. He's corralled by Bowden. Appeals of deliberate.
3 minutes left, Trent.
So thrown in. The attacking half, the way of Warrandyte. They'll look to get the clearance here. If they can sort it out by hand, Bowden there off one step. Just dumps a high one. Inside 50, it's a shallow entry. And the pressure's hot.
Two and a half minutes left. Ball's right on the outskirts of Warrandyte's forward 50. It's a 6-point ball game at Jubilee Park. Ruck contest goes up. Waverley Blues get the early clearance, but Warrandyte have been set up well behind the ball all day. This is no exception. Cullen Hall gets hands to it, doesn't have a teammate to handball it to. Waverley Blues take advantage of it. Now, quick little chip kick forward from Duffy. Finds the hands of Warrandyte out on that far wing, and they have a long booming kick down it, 60 metres out from their goal. Waverley Blues, they clean it up again, and the ball goes out of bounds. 2 minutes remaining.
They've been defending grimly, haven't they? Waverley Blues.
Hanging on.
Sims in the ruck again. Had his work cut out all day. Tackles applied, and we'll have another stoppage, so Secondary ball up in the same spot.
Just over a minute and a half.
90 seconds just about left to play out here. The reserves grand final, 3rd division. Waverley Blues just tries to dribble it forward and then a soccer off the ground. Bit of friendly fire going on that outer wing side. Cullen Hall again sweeps it back to his quarterback. And his ball forward was smothered. And on true centre wing, it'll be thrown in.
70 seconds left. You'd think it's this little stoppage here for Warrandyte, if it's anything. Sims wrapped up in the tackle. They'll have exactly 1 minute to clear this forward and tie the scores. It's hard to see Warrandyte winning from this position. They're going to have to force extra time if they want it. Ball scraps out on the other side. Warrandyte gain a couple metres. In the end, Waverley Blues get first hands to it. Ball scraps again. Out the back for Warrandyte. They get a kick forward. Going up. Turned his opponent inside out. Did Warrandyte. We see a ball up. 30 seconds left. This will almost certainly be the last stoppage of play, Trent, that Warrandyte can kick a goal from. Down to just 22 seconds. Ruck contest goes forward. Warrandyte have all their numbers around the ball. Breaking away was Warrandyte. Shot on goal. He kicked it! Warrandyte had kicked a goal! We're going to extra time, Trent! What the hell? With just 15 seconds remaining on the clock, Warrandyte have levelled the scores. We're still looking for a name and a number of that player. That is unbelievable.
That is outright crazy here at Jubilee Park.
Unbelievable.
So back in the centre here. We've ticked over the 20-minute mark. Sims is there. The crowd getting restless. They've found their voice.
It's a matter of seconds by the look here, Trent. We are just waiting. Stoppage after stoppage. Sims goes up in the ruck. No one takes it cleanly. Shelton's in and around the contest. Has been all day. Warrandyte, they're going forward. They're gaining metres. Shelton in and around the ball again. Tries to break clear of the tackle, but the umpire says, have it with me. And guess what, boys? 21 minutes gone in this last quarter.
We'll wait for a result here. Sims again in the ruck contest. Warrandyte can slap it forward. Appleby running onto it. Low drilling ball to the teeth of goal. It sails over the head of the pack and it's through. And the Warrandyte faithful erupt. Kyle Appleby.
Had a bit of a loss for words here, Trent. We thought Warrandyte had the last kick of the game just a minute and a half ago with that sensational goal. We do apologise for not getting the name of that player. And it is a matter of milliseconds now. Waverley Blues just have to get this ball forward from this stoppage. Sims gets in the ruck, he kicks it forward. Going near the forward 50. Tapped forward by his teammate. Waverley Blues pick it up. Last gasp, desperation kick forward. That's a mark! Waverley Blues! Samuel Johnson! Unbelievable! Nearly 22 and a half minutes gone. Still no sign of the siren. Johnson comes in to kick. Drop punt! Looks good! 48 all at Jubilee Park! Samuel Johnson, we had 3 goals in 3 minutes. The siren was imminent on all 3 of them, and the ball gets taken back to the middle. 7-6-48, 7-6-48. Warrandyte and Waverley Blues. Everyone up here is in absolute disbelief. Where's the siren, Trent?
Well, it can't sound. It's 48 apiece. She's all square here at Jubilee Park. Ice in his veins stuff here.
From all 3 of them.
So back in the centre now. Slap forward the way of the Waverley Blues. They can drive this one inside forward 50 to the hot spot.
Siren! It's gone!
And the siren sounds and confusion reigns.
Extra time, Trent. We've been calling it the last 3 minutes. It's finally sounded. 3 of the most clutch moments I've ever seen at amateur league football in the space of 3 minutes.
And it rang just at the wrong time for the Waverley Blues.
Waverley Blues were about to come back from not just the jaws, the throat of defeat. Now both teams look to be going to their respective huddles. No coaches on the ground as of yet.
So it's anyone's guess as to what happens next.
Our man Matt Folk
will listen in.
5 minutes each way. 5 minutes each way. Seems to be the word coming from John Oven here at the ground. Starting to lose my voice, Trent. So
5 minutes left to play out. Either end, they'll kick.
A drawn grand final, Trent. We're heading into extra time here at Jubilee Park. You could not have scripted this any better.
The footy gods have shone down on this one.
Matt Fodia, our man, just rolling around the boundary line, would have every single bit of content you could have as a creator. Just enforcing the rules.
Dice Baker as well.
The umpires, goal, boundary and field and all, they're all sitting down in the middle of the ground, now just dispersing, just discussing the rules and the regulations. This has got to be up there as one of the best finishes to a grand final ever, Trent. Without a doubt. Huge next 5 minutes here. So an important point to note, Waverley Blues, they will still kick to the right of the screen. They'll continue to kick to the right of the screen. No time on in these 5 minutes, we've just been told. So either half.
10 minutes left to play out here. Siren sounds. Extra time footy. That's September action at its best. Sims flies in the ruck. It's slapped forward the way of Warrandyte. They'll try and work it out by hand. There's Brewis getting involved. Slap forward again. Warrandyte head to the hot spot inside forward 50. Waverley Blues just try and run the gauntlet outside forward 50. Facey's there to collect, although the footy was too hot to handle. He's bumped off it. They can head to Welsh on the broadcast side. Spills the mark and then just invited the Warrandyte pressure. He turns tackler and will have a stoppage on the Eastland logo. True centre wing side will.
35 seconds gone in the first half of extra time. 7-6-48, 7-6-48. Rock contest. Warrandyte get first hands, but Waverley Blues get first on ground and we'll have another ball up. Nearly a minute gone already in the first half of extra time. The umpire says, have it with me, I'll give you a throw. Puts it up, Sims gets first hand. Waverley Blues retain it. Get a 25 metre high kick forward. Punch forward there again. Duffy's been good. It's going to be stoppages galore, I think, in extra time here, Trent. That's 3 or 4 in the first 70 seconds.
It's a true war of attrition, isn't it? All the pre-season work, all those running laps coming to fruition now. Extra time footy. Waverley Blues, they'll try and tap it to their own advantage. They head to the hot spot. And Warrandyte, as they've done all day, stand tall once more. Divs found space on the outer wing side. The ball bounced unkindly for him. He turns tackler. It's flicked over the top. Daffy, a long way from home, just sends a high up and under. Brewis is there. The big ruckman has to butter up at ground level now. Overruns it. And then bodies just pile in. And the umpire crosses his chest. We'll have another stoppage. 60 out from home, the way of the Waverley Blues.
2 minutes gone in this first half of extra time. Ball goes up. Sims gets first hand again, like he has done most of today, but it's another stoppage. You can just tell, Trent, the players are just so tired, as you would be, having to find the extra 5% in a tank that's already been 100% spent. Waverley Blues get hands. They get kick inside forward 50. Running for it was Johnson, Mr. Clutch, who had the last say in normal time. The ball goes out of bounds for a throw-in. 25 metres out from Waverley Blues' goal.
So deep inside the pocket. Tucked up against the boundary line, it's thrown in. Sims just grasps it out of the ruck, sends a high up and under. Waverley Blues at the fall.
Play on! It's given play on! Johnson kicks it!
Turns around the corner. There's your first goal in extra time.
Who else?
Well, it went 15 metres high, not 15 metres long according to the umpire. And that's the result. Waverley Blues kick clear.
Bold call from the umpire not to call it. Probably fair. Good awareness from Johnson to just hear that one out. It's pretty hard to hear here at Jubilee Park. All the fans are going nuts. Johnson has kicked the last goal of normal stoppage time, and now we're heading into the first half of extra time, and he has the first say. The man of big moments. Ball goes up in the middle. Win this time to Warrandyte in the ruck. Shelton gets a quick kick forward after the umpire calls my ball. It's a stoppage.
Geez, takes a brave umpire to whistle that.
Ball goes up again. Ruck contest. Sims gets first hands. Shelton gets second. Gives off to Bowden. He has a pretty good kick. Goes 45 metres out from his home. Attempted mark from Warrandyte. Nearly got there. Waverley Blues get the handball out of rebound 50. Waverley Blues player tries to break through the pack. Given holding the ball on the arc. So now Waverley Blues will go back. There's a minute left in this first half of extra time. They put it to the hot spot. 35 metres out. Taking the mark. Not. Mitchell Wilson tried to grab it, didn't get it in the end, and now it's just rummaging around 40 metres out from Warrandyte's goal. High tackle not given, holding the ball instead. Warrandyte players don't like it. Mitch Wilson feeling pretty stiff right now, but instead, Lloyd Butcher, he gets the ball and kicks out. 30 seconds to go in this first half of extra time.
Well, they mightn't like the decision, but they have to accept it. Sweeping handball. Outer wing side, it'll find Lawson. Tries to link up by hand with a 1-2. His teammate didn't work out. Bowden's there to collect. And the 1-2, they sort it out again, although intercepted once more. Slap forward, the way of Johnson again, who marks. Too far out to score. He's got Waverley Blues streaming forward in a paddock. Facey's there to shepherd. And kudos to the Warrandyte player. Wraps him up. 2-on-1 situation. Had the outnumber. And did well to stop him dead in his tracks.
A crucial decision there, Monks, to which player he went to. Made the right decision. Quick little kid out here for Warrandyte. Plenty of room to run on this near wing. Well chased by the Waverley Blues player. Ball scraps around right on the boundary. They can't afford this to go out. Picked up was done there by Richardson. Kicks forward. No real clear winner for Warrandyte or Waverley Blues. Waverley Blues take it to ground and force a stoppage. Well played, Waverley. So we're really getting towards the end of this first half of extra time as the siren beats all of us. 5-minute, 46-second quarter, or half, if you will. Sees Waverley Blues up by a goal. Samuel Johnson, Mr. Clutch, has gone 2 from 2 for his last 2 kicks inside forward 50. Forced it into extra time to begin with, and then gives his team a 1-goal lead heading into what should be, Trent, the last 5 minutes of their season, barring another draw. So for those watching, what will happen now is each team will swap sides. A short break in play. We'll be back with you after the 2 teams go to a huddle. About to start the second half of extra time here. We've just been given some valuable information. If this second half finishes in a draw, there will be no siren sound, and from that point forward, it will be golden point. Shelton gets the ball forward for Warrandyte. Gets his team off to a good start in the second half of extra time. Waverley Blues get their numbers, they're in and around the ball on the ground. Warrandyte beat them to it. Kick inside forward 50, looking for a target. Quick mark was juggled by Harrison Cook, but taken in the end.
So Cook just tries to buy a bit of time. Heads long down the line, outer wing side. Nearly landed in the chest of the Waverley Blues player sitting at the back. He collects it now. Right spot, right time, drives a low ball forward into the leading chest of Johnson. He butters up at ground level, throws it on the boot, and it's there! Johnson does it again!
Unbelievable.
This grand final has had everything.
It's Samuel Johnson's grand final, Trent.
Ice in his veins.
Dry ice in his veins. Samuel Johnson has kicked the last 3 goals of this game, one sending the match into extra time and 2 of them in extra time to give the Waverley Blues a 12-point buffer with just over 3.5 minutes to go in extra time.
So back in the centre now. It's an uphill road from here on out. If you're a fan of Warrandyte, Welsh tries to burst clear. Running onto it was the Waverley Blues player. Tries to butter up again at ground level. Stepping through traffic well there.
Jackson.
Was Jaksic, and it sailed over the goal line. Jaksic it was with a punishing left foot.
This game has no end. Jaksic from 50 metres out on his left cannon has just gone straight through. Very well shepherded on the goal line by his Warrandyte teammate. It's back to a 6-point ball game, Trent, and we still have 3 minutes to play.
This has just gone past the point of funny. It's quite hard to believe, actually.
Incomprehensible, Trent. Ball up goes the way of Warrandyte slightly. They've gained about 10 metres from that centre clearance. Waverley Blues put it back in their favour. Attempted mark taken by Waverley Blues, unsuccessful. Running in defence now is Warrandyte. They get a kick out. Is he going to hug the boundary? It is, but it's going to be safely marked in the chest of Ben Richardson. He's had a good game, good leading patterns. He kicks it off to Mitchell Wilson. Crowd revs up. They kick it off to Jack Wilson. 75 metres out on a fair angle from his goal. Leading patterns. Need a lift for Warrandyte. Sells the candy on the boundary right in front of us. Kicks it long inside forward 50 for Warrandyte. Marks going up, unsuccessful for both teams. Tackle taken down. Warrandyte have kicked the goal from the boundary. They've done it again. Moment after moment for Warrandyte, and it's a level ball game, Trent.
No, this is just stupid. This is actually just ridiculous now.
From the boundary, Warrandyte have kicked a goal. Believe it was Hitchman. To be confirmed. This game has no end. 9-6, 60 Warrandyte. 9-6 Waverley Blues. Second half of extra time. Probably another important point to point out. If the scores are tied at the 5-minute mark of this quarter, a siren will not sound. From that point forward, it will be golden point.
So back in the centre here, Jubilee Park. Waverley Blues look to go forward. Warrandyte go back to go forward by hand, and then a long one. Wilson finds separation on Durkanos. He overstepped the mark. 25-metre penalty paid. It's the Wilson of the Jack variety. Had Cullen Hall running shotgun. Opted to go against that. Instead, pumps this one to a hot spot. Look at the numbers fly. It's trickled out the back. At ground level there, Appleby! To try and win it for Warrandyte.
Again! He's had 2 of them today, Trent. He's done his calf in the process. The quarter will go slightly over 5 minutes. There is still a chance for Waverley Blues. They've done it before, they can do it again. Warrandyte have kicked 3 goals straight in the space of 4.5 minutes to force this game back on their terms. I will die on this hill. This is the best grand final at amateur level ever. Ball goes up in the middle. Sims gets first hit out. Waverley Blues get the kick out of the centre. It's theirs to get. Crumbing on the ground, and Warrandyte force a stop. No, they don't. Ball keeps going. Waverley Blues get a kick inside forward 50. Who's going to mark it? No one. Ball goes to ground. Warrandyte get first hand. Big kick out of the contest was Hitcham. He's gone back behind the ball. Waverley Blues mark it. Time is not on their side. They have to go. Going inside 450 was Corbett. Intercepted by Warrandyte. All time off the clock now for Warrandyte. Interesting kick across the ground. Here it is. Tom Miles picks up the ball. Tries to sell candy. Left foot. Who marks it? No one. Ball goes to the top of the square. Samuel Johnson. 4 goals for him. In the space of about 10 minutes, Trent. He's kicked 4 goals. 3 of them in extra time. I'm losing my voice. In every sense of the word deserved, and we go back to the middle. 10-6, 66 Warrandyte, 10-6, 66 Waverley Blues. We are beyond extra time now.
God, I feel for your voice there, Will, but how about the energy levels of these players? They've been battling forever, it'll feel like. Back in the centre now, Duffy to contest in the ruck again. Jaksic tried to flick it over the top. Shelton wrapped up by Facey. They dump a ball forward. Falls short of the Waverley Blues player on the half volley. And Warrandyte can look to exit. They just throw it on the boot down the line. There's Noonan nudged underneath it by Dernikos, who's paid the mark. Time is not on his side. He can head down the line to a 2-on-1 contest favouring Warrandyte. Facey met front on. Big hit.
Big hit on Facey. He's been good all day.
He is down for the count. Free kick paid, and rightly so. Facey putting his body on the line.
Got to note just again, we are under the impression that from this point forward it's golden point. We don't have confirmation, no one knows.
So Facey had a teammate running shotgun. Walsh presents. Found separation. Got off the leash inside 50, and the game is on his boot.
The siren could sound any point forward if this ball goes through for a score.
So Rowan Welsh will need ice in his veins to try and win it for Waverley Blues here. He strolls in. Measured approach. The kick is on its way. The crowd will tell the story. It's a point, and they celebrate. It's there. Rowan Welsh, the match winner, with a minor score. And the agony and ecstasy on display. The Warrandyte players can't quite believe what's just happened. Neither can we, Will.
That is the grand final that will never be forgotten, Trent. That grand final will never be forgotten. Heartbreak everywhere for Warrandyte. Ecstasy for Waverley Blues. Samuel Johnson has played one of the most remarkable 15 minutes of football I have ever seen in my life. No one on this football field in Jubilee Park's history has ever had so much clutch.
So just reiterating the scoreline there, Warrandyte 10-6, 66. Forward of the Waverley Blues 10-7, 67. And that's all she wrote here. The Div 3 Reserves Grand Final. It's come down to the wire in the 72nd quarter.
Thought it was 73rd. Trent, the most remarkable game of football. You will never see anything like this again. Had everything. For the most part, on the grand final side of things, on the more side of tame for the first 3 quarters. Last quarter blew it out of the water. Extra time went another level. We went from seeing a very good game of football to an unbelievable game of football to incomprehensible extra time. So many players from each team stood up when the moment mattered that we can't even keep track of them. But to think that it's all come down to a golden point after a drawn game and then a drawn extra time.
And you got a feel for the Warrandyte players. They seem to have every answer until it mattered. And if you're listening at home, I imagine it's probably a edge of your seat sort of spectacle. But to the people at the ground here at Jubilee Park, sort of a where were you when moment. And you and I, Will, both had the pleasure of calling this.
Very well called, that end part, Trent. It was done to perfection.
Grand final for the ages. That'll just about do us here.
Thank you so much for joining us, wherever you've watched. Just the most incomprehensible game of football that I've certainly watched. I think everyone at this ground and on stream has ever watched. Presentations for the game will be done soon. But Trent Cullen and Will Faulkner, we both thank you for listening to our voices today as the presentations are about to get underway. So thank you so much again for listening to us, Trent. It's been a pleasure. Wouldn't have done it with anyone else, and thank you for your call. Thank you everyone for listening and tuning in. It's been a pleasure. Until 2023 for the Division 3 Senior Reserves, we're out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-match presentation for the Division 3 Reserves Grand Final. Congratulations to both sides on a fantastic game, and commiserations to Warrandyte. But once again, Congratulations to both teams. Presenting the medals today is Kathy White of the Eastern Football Netball League Board. And we begin by presenting the Best On Ground medal. Thanks to the Blue Ribbon Foundation, great supporters and partners of the Eastern Football Netball League. The Best On Ground is from the Waverley Blues, number 73, Daniel Lawson. Congratulations once again to Daniel, and now presenting the Premiership team, the Waverley Blues. We start with number 12, Michael Hogan. Number 14, Joe Facey. Number 16, Tom Miles. Yeah, easy. Number 20, Luke Sims. Number 22, Michael Norton. Number 24, Wesley Smith. Number 30, Cooper Morey. Number 32, Ethan Daffy. Number 34, Edward Dalton. Number 35, Max Storr. Number 36, Christian Desara. Number 37, Callum Marini. Number 40, Dean Donikos. Number 41, Lloyd Butcher. Number 44, Harrison Cook. Number 45, Jake Hubbard. Number 48, Rowan Welsh. Number 49, Riley Corn. Number 51, Samuel Johnson. Number 65, Thomas Macon. Number 68, Jason Corbett. Number 73, welcome back to Best On Ground, Daniel Lawson. Daniel Lawson, number 73, welcome him back to the Best On Court. Best On Ground, sorry. Number 76, Joshua Hunter. Now to the off-field personnel, the assistant coach, one of them, Paul McNamara. The other assistant coach, Jackson Deere. The runner is Will Mittle. The trainer, Janine Pearson. And the team manager, Kathy Eames. And now we welcome the captain and coach, the captain number 26, James Hanson. and the Premiership coach, Chris Hale.
Show if everyone